Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Divine Fash Clothing, and I'm here to introduce my new pattern to you guys. I'm sure when you see the bag you'll fall in love with it. Meet the Valeria bag. I'm sure when you see the bag you are like, wow, this is adorable, this is amazing. Yes, I know you will fall in love with it. The bag is beautiful and easy to make, very structured, easy to make. Within 2 to 3 hours you are done making the bag. You can see the beauty of the bag. Check it out. So this is the Valeria bag pattern. So the bag comes with two unique sides. The bottom measure 4 inches. The width of the bag, how wide it is 11 inches, and the height of the bag is 8 inches. It comes with a long strap. You can either use, some of my testers they use chain, some use chain. You can use chain as your long strap. You can adjust it to make it long or short. It depends on your own choice. And the bag comes with 2 magnetic snaps to close the bag frame, and it comes with slit pockets where you can keep your ATM cards, your purse, and it also comes with a zipper pocket where you can keep your keys, your car keys, and also come with a divider panel. There's a divider panel that divides the bag and make it into 2 wheel. This is one side and this is the second side. It comes with a divider panel. You can see the bag is amazing and adorable, and the bag is very easy to make, within 2 to 3 hours you are done with the bag. I'm sure you'll fall in love with the bag. You fall in love with the bag already. You can see the beauty of it. And the bag comes in 2 sides. This is the medium size. I would say this is the medium size. For some people it's a big bag, for some it's a medium size, so I will call it a medium size bag. A medium size bag, and I'll be using the small size to make the video tutorial of how I come to achieve this amazing bag. So come along with me, let's begin. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. God bless you as you do so. Now I begin the tutorial in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. You too, you can begin your bag with whatsoever you believe in. I believe in Jesus. He's my Savior, he's my Lord. So I love to put him in everything that I do. I will take this, my main panel. On the right side of my main panel, and this is my 2 side strap, the strap that will be by the side of the bag. I will align the edges. I'll make sure that they are aligned right side together. I'll make sure that the edges align and meet, and I will clip with my clip. I will repeat the same thing to the sides, to the remaining sides of the bag and the remaining side strap. On the wrong side of my side strap, I've already marked out my seam allowance, 3/4 seam allowance. You may not see because I use pen. I couldn't get erasable marking pen, so I use pen. So I've already marked out my seam allowance line so that I'll make sure that I sew everything accurately. So I will sew it on the line that I've already marked. I'll make sure that the edges of the top align and the side edges aligned together, and I will sew with 3/8 seam allowance. I will repeat the same sewing to the remaining side of the bag. I have repeated the same thing to the side of the panel. Now I will flip the raw edges, the seams towards the side strap, and I will top stitch on the right side of the exterior. I will repeat the same thing to the remaining side. I will top stitch with 1/8 seam allowance. Now we have joined the side. I've joined the side to the main panel. Next thing to do now is I'll take my top strap. I'll take my top strap. I will align it right side together to the top edges, to the short edges of the piece. I'll make sure that the edges align together, and I'll repeat the same step for the remaining short edges. I will align my top strap right side together, and I will repeat the sewing I did, and I will repeat the same step for the top strap and the piece. I've already marked out my sewing line, my seam allowance, which is 3/8 inches on the wrong side of my top strap. I will clip. I'll repeat the same thing, the same step for the remaining top strap and the remaining edges on the piece, remaining short edges on the piece. I'm done with sewing the top strap with the main panel. Now I will turn the seams. I will turn the seam towards the top strap, and I will top stitch on the right side with 1/8 seam allowance. I'll repeat the same thing to the remaining top strap. We are done with the main panel. Now I will set this aside and we move into doing the lining. My divider panel, and I'll fold the long edges top to bottom. I'll fold it into two equal parts, and I will sew at the raw edges with 1/8 seam allowance. Now I will turn it right side out. By the side, or you can decide to sew on the two sides and the bottom, but you leave a turning gap at the bottom. It depends on how you want your divider panel to be. So I will turn it right side out. I have turned it out. I've turned my divider panel out, then I will set it aside. I will set my divider panel aside. Now I will take my slip pockets. I cut two of it because I could not cut a straight. My exterior is not enough to cut a straight slit pocket, so I have to cut two. Now I will set it. You don't need to cut it, you can cut it straight because my panel can't cut straight. That's why I have to cut it in two. So now I will sew it at the long side, at the long side with 1/8. I'll repeat the same thing to the two short edges. I have turned right side out. I will place my slip pocket binding right side together. Make sure that the edges align, and I will sew with 1/4 seam allowance. Now I will fold the seams toward the binding. I will fold in the remaining seams toward the binding, and I'll fold in the remaining excess of the binding over to the seam, and I will clip. I will sew at the right with 1/8 seam allowance. I will add my oil to have smooth sewing. I will cut out the excess by the side. And also cut out the excess at the back. I will set this aside too. I'll take my zipper pocket lining and my zipper tape. This is my zipper tape, and I've already added my zipper pull because So on the wrong side of one pocket lining, I'll place my zipper pull wrong side down, I will sew with 1/8 seam allowance. I will repeat the same thing for the remaining pocket lining and the remaining edges of the zipper tape. You can see the zipper tape is right side up, and the lining is right side down. So the right side of the zipper tape is facing up and the right side of the lining is facing down. Now I'm going to fold over the seams. I'll top stitch. If you have, you can use double-sided tape to make sure that you make the edges to lay flat, but I did not have a double-sided tape. That's why I'm top stitching to make it that it's lay flat. So I will top stitch with 1/8. Yes. Now it has lay flat. You can use double-sided tape to achieve this. Instead of top stitching, you can use double-sided tape to achieve this top stitching. Now I will set this aside and I will take my main lining. This is my main lining, and I will take my slip pockets. I will align I'll make sure I get the center. I will notch the center of my main lining. I will notch the center of my main lining, both top and bottom. I will also get the center of my slip pocket. I will align it to the center, to the center, the place I notch on my main lining. I'll make sure I leave a space. I will leave a space of 3/4 at the top edge of the main lining. I'll leave a space of 3/4 at the top edge of the lining, and I will sew on the two sides, from one side to the bottom to the other side. I have added my slip pockets. On the other parts of my main lining, I will take my pocket overlay. I'll make sure I get the center of my zipper pocket overlay. I'll get the center and I'll align it to the center of the lining, of the main lining that I notch. I'll make sure I leave also a space of 3/4 at the top of the lining. I will sew at the outer parts, the outer edges of the zipper overlay. I cut as wide as I want. I have made the opening. I have made an opening for the upper line. Now I will take the zipper pocket that I've made before. I'll place the zipper tape right side up. The right side of the zipper tape will be right side up, and I'll place my zipper overlay over it. And I will sew at the opening. I will sew at the opening with 1/8 seam allowance. I have sewn around. Now you can see now I will place the zipper pocket lining right side together, and I will sew around from one side to the bottom and to the other side. And I will cut out the excess at the bottom of the zipper pocket lining. The excess is not useful again. I will cut it off. Our zipper pocket is done, and also our slit pocket is done. The next thing to do now is to take my upper lining. I've already marked out my seam allowance, which is 3/8 on the wrong side of my upper lining. So I will set the edges. I will set the edges to the top edges of my main lining right side together, and I will sew with 3/8 seam allowance, which is 0.75. 3/8 seam allowance. You can get the centimeter on the pattern right up. Now that I'm done adding the upper lining to the main lining, I will fold the seams. I'll make sure that the seam is folded towards the upper lining, and I'll top stitch on the right side. I'll top stitch on the right side of my upper lining. Our upper lining is ready. So now on my main panel, I'm going to mark a line. I'm going to mark a line around the panel. I will mark 3/4 line around the panel, around my main panel, and also I'll repeat the line for my main lining too. Now I will go ahead and I will add glue or double-sided tape around the mark I line, and I will fold in the edges to make the line I mark. I will add my double-sided tape or glue around the mark I line, and I will fold in the edges to meet the mark I line to meet the line I marked. Now on my main lining, I will transfer my magnetic snaps placements on my upper lining, on the two upper lining, both on the short edges of my main lining. I will transfer my magnetic snap from my pattern piece. I will transfer it to the upper lining, and I will add my magnetic snap. I've already added the marking line of my magnetic snap, which is on my pattern piece, to my upper line, and I will go ahead now and I will add my magnetic snap. This is my magnetic. I use a small size since I'm doing a small size back, so I use a small size of now I'll go ahead and add. We are going to add the female parts to one part of the for one part of the upper lining, and the female parts to the other parts of the upper lining. Male parts for one side of the upper lining and female parts for another side of the upper lining. I have added the magnetic snap to the, you can see. Now I have added my glue to the mark line, and I've already fold the edges to the mark line. I have done it around to the round of the bar. You can see I have folded the edges around them. Now I will go ahead, I will cut off the angles, the 4 angles that poke up while I was folding. I will cut it off so that it will lay flat. I have repeated the same thing for my main lining. Repeat the same thing for my main line. Now I will go ahead, I will take my main panel and I will press in place my interfacing to the wrong side. This is the gum side of my interfacing, so I will place it wrong side together, and I will press it with iron. I will press in place with iron, and I will set aside when I'm done. Now I have aligned my main lining and my main panel, and also added my interfacing to it, so you can see it's now firm. I make sure I glue them together using, you can use double-sided tape or glue or leather glue, anyone you have. You can see our back. Now let's go ahead to add our side interfacing. Remaining side, you can see how you can try to add um back feet. I just want to add back feet to this place because I love the way the bottom is. You can decide to add back feet to yours, to the bottom of your own, after you have added your interfacing to the main panel. You can go ahead and add your back feet to the bottom of the piece. So we are going to set this aside, and we go ahead to do this our side panel and divider pockets. Now this is my two side panel. The side panel I want to make, the setup I want to make in this video is an option for those who don't have the stud side clip, that does not have the side clip, stud side clip that I use on the pattern piece. So this is an option. If you don't have the stud side clip, you can use this one as, you can use D-ring. You can use D-ring as the to replace the stud side clip if you don't have. So this is the option one. But if you have the stud side clip, you can go ahead to do it the way I did it in the pattern write-up. But the one I'm doing in this video is an option for those who don't have the stud side clip. That's why I'm doing this. So now I have transferred my side connector placement on my two pattern piece on the right side of my two. You may not see because I used pen. I have transferred my connector placement, my optional connector placement on the right side of my two side pattern piece. Now on the right side of my side panel, I have marked the line of my connector placements on the side. On the one side, on the left side of one side panel, and on the right side of another side panel. I place them right side, the one to the right side and the other to the left side, so that when you are carrying the bag, the thing will balance. It will not just be on the bag will not bend to one side. So that's why I've placed the connector placements on the right side of one side panel and on the left side of right side panel. If I'm done with it, you understand what I'm saying. So now, and this is my connector strap. I folded it to the middle and I sew. This is my connector. I'm going to cut on the line that I've marked on my side panel on the right side. I will cut it open. I have cut open the line I marked for my optional connector placement. This one is on the left side of one side panel, and this one is on the right side of one side panel. Now I will insert my connector strap. I will insert it. And I will sew with 1/8 seam allowance. I will sew with okay, it's 1/8 seam allowance. Sewing is 1/8 seam allowance. Then I'll go ahead and insert my D-ring into it, and I will put the remaining edge of the connector strap into the opening I have made before. and make sure that the edges at the wrong side of my side panel align. I'll repeat the same thing for the remaining side. Now our drink connector is ready. So this is the connector for optional connector in case you don't have the stud clip, side stud clip. You will see it on the pattern right up. So now I'll go ahead and fold the corner rectangle, the corner rectangle, and I will sew with 1/4 seam allowance. Now I'll visit it to the side panel. I'll visit it. Now I will align the two panel right side together, and I will sew around. I will sew around, and I will leave a turning gap at the bottom to turn the piece out. Also be wise. I wish I will this using the device to the left and right side of the piece so that the piece is not bulky. I'll try to do it. I'll continue to sew again. I'll continue my stitching again. This way I've done house. I'll cut out the edge. Not some position. I'll cut the angle like this. I'll cut it. I'll say going back on the left side. Like this. I'm done turning out, and I have top stitch at the top. I have top stitch at the top of the side panel, of these two side panel. Before adding the side lining to the side panel, I'm supposed to add interfacing. If you wish to add interfacing to your own side panel, you can go ahead, but you need to press in place your interfacing to the wrong side of the side panel before you add your lining. I choose not to add side interfacing to it because the material is kind of a medium weight, it does not need any lining. The material and the lining I use is already firm, it's already thicker for the way I want. I don't need to add any interfacing. But if you wish to add interfacing to your own side panel, you can do it before you can press in place your interfacing to the wrong side of the side panel before you now place your lining to it and turn out. Now I'll take my pocket divider panel, and I will get the center of my side panel, and I will align it to the side. I will align the edges. The folded part will be at the top, while the seams while the seams will be at the bottom part. I'll place it at the sides, the side of the divider panel. I'll place it at the middle of the side panel, and I will clip, I will repeat the same thing for the remaining side panel and remaining side on the divider panel. I'll make sure that the top edges align. I will clip. Now I will go ahead and sew. I will sew by the side with 3/8 seam allowance. I will sew the two sides with 3/8 seam allowance. I will stop the stitching at the end of the divider panel. Before getting to the end of the divider panel, I will slant the stitching a bit. I will not sew 3/8 to the end of the divider panel. I will reduce the stitching to 1/8. But I will stop the stitching at the end, at the bottom part of the divider panel. I've done sewing the, you can see I slant getting to the bottom of the divider panel. Now our divider panel and the side panel is ready. Now on the wrong side of my main panel, both main panel and the lining that I glue together, I will top stitch at the two short side. I will top stitch at the two short side with 1/8 seam allowance. With 1/8. I have top stitch at the two short side. Now I'll go ahead and align my side panel. The top edges of my side panel will be placed below the seams, below the seam on the upper line, and I will clip. This is how the side should be like. This is how the side will be. I'll be using it. Sewing the side of this bag, sewing the side of this bag with domestic machine is kind of a little bit tricky. It requires a lot of patience and slow sewing. But if you have a cylinder bed machine, I will advise you use your cylinder bed machine to sew the side of the side panel to the side of the bag. It is very easy with cylinder bed machine. But if you don't have cylinder bed machine, you have domestic, the one I'm using, you have to be patient with it because it's kind of tricky and like that. So now I have aligned the sides of the bag to the side panel to the side of the bag. Now I will go ahead and sew. I will be gentle with it so that it will be. Now I'm done sewing the side of the bag. I have to skip the video because it's kind of a bit, it took time, so I have to skip the video. So I'm joined the side of the bag to the now this is how the side will look like. Now our bag is done, and I've already prepared my strap. This is the strap because the bag belongs to small to a kid, so I have to use this small handle. You can decide to make a long strap handle for your own, but this is the best I decided to use for the handle. So our bag is done. I'll go ahead to add the side strap. The bottom measure 3 inches. The height measures 6 inches, and the width is, I think it's 9 inches. Yes, the width is 9 inches. You can. Thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.